So now I want to show you something about margin zero auto, the CSS property that we use to center things. And I want to show you how that works in relation to the display property. So display, some things are inline level display, some things are block level display, some things are inline block. So margin zero auto to center stuff, and how does that work in relation to the display property? And I also want to show you a little trick for debugging. So over here in WebStorm, I have 020 center an image, and I have index.html and main.css, both of which I have open. And the first thing I want to do is I just want to add in this CSS selector to select everything, and I'm going to do border, 2 pixels dashed hot pink. And so that's going to put a hot pink border around every element on the page. And you can see that right now, right? And if I wanted to, I could distinguish and differentiate. So this is really good for debugging. I could come in, I could say, I just want to see my HTML element. And let me just do it this way. I just want to see my HTML element. And we'll make this one green. And I want to see my body. And we'll make this one black. There we go. And so you can see the green is the HTML, the body's the black. So I could overwrite those. And now if I added in a div, and I want to give it like a height, otherwise it's just going to be completely flat. So height, 200 pixels. And now refresh it. And so there's the div is the hot pink. And so you could start to see, right, the different amount of space each HTML element is taken up on the page. We already went over this, I'm pretty sure. So, pretty sure because I've been recording this over a period of weeks now. All right, so I don't remember everything we've talked about. But there it is again. So that's how we do it. And I'm just going to take these out, leave them all hot pink. And the main thing I wanted to show you was that, this div is taking up an entire line by itself because it's a block level element. So block level elements take up border 5 pixels solid black. Block level elements take up the entire line. That's the way a block level element works. What about if I put in like, an image? And so right here, I'm going to go up a level and then control spacebar. And I want my image folder, and then /, if you don't do the /, control spacebar, code completion, won't work, and there's pup. And once again, if you're on Mac or something, you want to go to the key map reference to see how do I bring up code completion. I'm using control spacebar, and so control spacebar, code completion. Let me just look through here. Control Shift, Control Space, basic code completion. There we go. So it'd be something else on the Mac. It's Command Space, I'm pretty sure. All right, so there we go. So I have my image. I don't want my alt tag because this is just an example. Keep it simple. And I'm going to preview my image. And so there's my image. And notice the border around the image is only taking up as much space as it needs to take up because it's saving room for another inline element. And so here is another inline element. And so span is just another inline element. And now that has a border around it, just the space it needs. So if I was to go to my image and I wanted to center my image, do margin zero auto, and this is top and bottom, and this is right and left. And so top and bottom, 0, pixels for the margin. And then right and left automatically make the widths equal. Well, there's no space there. This is an inline element, right? So there's nothing to center it across. So if I refresh this, nothing. But if I change this to display block, right, now it'll behave as a block level element, and it'll take up the entire row. And it will then, since it's taking up the entire row, center it across the entire row. And I'm going to add the border on here just so we could see it. Border 10 pixels, grooved orange. My page is refreshing. 10 pixels, grooved orange. What did I misspell? Groove orange. There we go. Groove orange. So there's the border around the image. So interestingly, right, it's a block level element now, but the border is not being applied to the entire row, like up here with a div. It's just being applied to the content because you have your content, and then you have your padding, And then you have, so if we added padding, we'd see the padding, 10 pixels, right? You have your padding, and then you have your border, and then you have your margin, right? But that's the way you center an image using Margin Zero Auto. That's the main takeaway from this video, is look at the relationship between the display property. Is it an inline element? Is it a block level element? If it's a block level element, it's taking up the whole row, which means if we do Margin Zero Auto, we might be able to do some centering on it. And if it's an inline element, then it's just right there, and Margin Zero Auto is going to try to center it on that thing. So you have to start thinking about how all this stuff is connected. But that's how you center an image, Margin Zero Auto, and display block, right, for that image. And you'll need that in the next hands-on exercise.